A Colorado residential purchase agreement is the most important document when buying a home. Legally binding, once signed, is a contract between the buyer and the seller that outlines all of the terms and conditions of the transaction, including the purchase price, financing options, down payment, escrow, and more. In this video, we'll cover how a residential purchase agreement works, legal requirements in Colorado, and what you need to create one. We're eForms, the biggest online database for legal documents. Stick around and we'll tell you where you can find an official residential purchase agreement specific to Colorado. First, let's review how does a residential purchase agreement exactly work. A residential purchase agreement acts as an official offer from a prospective buyer to the seller of a house. In addition to outlining all of the terms of the transaction, the document also details conditions that must be met for the agreement to stay in effect. The seller, once they've reviewed the agreement, can either accept, reject, or make a counteroffer. Next, let's take a look at the legal requirements in Colorado. Under Colorado law, the seller is required to complete a property disclosure form, which includes information about the building's structural condition, zoning, environmental condition, and more. In addition, Colorado statutes require the seller to make disclosures about water source for the property, nearby transportation projects, whether the property has ever been used as a meth lab, and green energy features, if any, such as heating, cooling, and ventilation. In addition, under federal law, the seller must disclose the property's history of lead-based paint exposure if it was built before 1978. Finally, what should be included in your residential purchase agreement to better your chances of getting accepted by the seller? Include a mortgage pre-approval letter. A mortgage pre-approval letter is a document from the bank estimating how much it is willing to lend the buyer based on their credit history, income, debts, and assets. This helps the seller determine whether the buyer is financially credible. Offer an earnest money deposit. An earnest money deposit is a percentage of the offer and provided to the seller as a show of good faith. It is written into the residential purchase agreement and typically delivered when the agreement is signed. Use an addendum to modify or add to the agreement. An addendum is often included with a residential purchase agreement to add to or amend any terms and conditions. It can also detail a contingency which allows either party to opt out of the contract if certain terms are not met. If you are in need of an official Colorado residential purchase agreement, you can get started by clicking the link right here. Also, hit that subscribe button for more videos to help you simplify the legal process for everything ranging from buying or selling a house to making a will and more.